Everyone has an opinion about their marriage. Everyone has a perspective on 10 seconds reels that were being put out there for public consumption.
Yeah.
We don't know the behind the scenes. And once you get deeper into content and you have a management company also backing you, you get advice and counsel on some of the things that you need to post.
Which they shouldn't be seen on your page anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anxious, nothing. A little bit anxious, nothing.
You're looking like a superhero today.
Which one?
I don't know. Whatever is black, bad, and fly, that's what you look like.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Thank you. And which planet are you coming from?
Hey, what is up? Welcome to Take Two. I'm Mylan, and this is my beautiful wife, Kate. What's up?
What's going on?
I don't know. You tell me, man.
What are we talking about today?
Well, what we're talking about is marriage reality versus the internet's reality. Listen, we've seen Christy and Desmond, right? The TikTok sensation couple who broke up, they divorced, he cheated.
Allegedly.
Well, I mean, he admitted it too, though.
Did he?
He did admit it.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't try to act like you...
We still allegedly.
Don't try to act like you ain't on the internet. So, you know, the interesting thing is, right, they've been together since they were 14, right? And they're, you know, and this is something we battle with because you are an influencer as much as you may want to act like you're not. Because you get paid to post things from time to time. So.
Okay.
So we struggle with how much of it is us versus how much that needs to be public. And that was something we had talked about when we first saw that with them.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a struggle, but you have to have a healthy balance because naturally people are nosy.
Yep.
And the more you feed them, the more they're going to want from you. So you need to still protect the household and have a discussion on what you want to put out to the public versus what's sacred to you in your household and in the marriage, and have a healthy balance of what you want to share and not share. I mean, they started off sharing certain things, and my assumption is that whatever piece of the content was doing well for them, they decided to continue to put out more and put out more of that. And that seeps into other areas.
Yes.
And sometimes if you're not careful, you'll choose virality over reality and protecting certain things in your space.
And it's funny, right? And by no means are we at that space where Christy and Desmond were at, but you remember when it was a decision to go public with our relationship, right? This was something that we really had to think about. And, we don't do any of that like Christy does. But, for what you do as far as it goes, home decor, your fashion, your sense and all that, to have another person included in that, our relationship isn't bad, but I feel like the nosiness wasn't at level 10 when they was kind of wondering, oh, who's she with? Where's she at? What's she doing?
Yeah, and I mean, even though I don't mind sharing my relationship now, I still disagree with putting things that are important to me online.
Yeah. Let
me share my content about home decor, fashion, the lifestyle parts that I want to share. Yep. But I still don't believe in, I struggled with that for a very long time because once you invite people in, people don't care. No. I don't care how much we want to talk about once you build a community, they want what they want.
The facts, yeah.
And that's why sometimes over time as a content creator, you have to, teeter into producing offering a service.
Yeah.
Because they come to you for this and that only. If you're sharing certain things about your relationship, they just want to be nosy and take away what they can take away, forward and laugh and do whatever they do with the content. But it's not necessarily because they care genuinely about you. If you watch what's going on now, you're saying that I'm acting like I don't know what's going on. I know what's going on. Everyone has an opinion about their marriage. everyone has a perspective on 10 seconds reels that were being put out there for public consumption.
Yeah.
We don't know the behind the scenes. And once you get deeper into content and you have a management company also backing you, you get advice and counsel on some of the things that you need to post.
Which they shouldn't be seen on your page anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. And so if they chose to go that route with a certain type of content for us to consume, and now people are saying, oh, she was so rude to him. And, you know, you can tell that he's genuinely happy now. He's expressing himself more. She was so rude. She let the content get to her head. It's production.
It is production. Yeah. And that's for me who, you know, who's not at the magnitude like you with social media. It's different just kind of casually posting on socials versus someone who does it for a business and they have certain connections. Because you can't just be me, I could just be cavalier and just say, hey, babe, let's take a selfie. Let's post this. But with her, it has to be a lot more strategic. And sometimes that does seep into the actual relationship. But for us, where we've been able to manage that is understanding there's a time and place when you're doing what you have to do for work, and then you're doing what you have to do for us.
Yeah.
And when you get in front of people start looking at you as couples goals, and they start like as they were looking at these guys because of the age, but no one paid attention to the struggles that they went through years on end and decisions they had to make. So I'm not going to co-sign that he went and cheated. I'm not going to co-sign that she humiliated him on certain posts. I'm not going to co-sign any of that. But what I'm going to say is we never, ever understand what's deemed couples goals.
And your relationship should be
your couple's goals.
Your couple's goals, because everybody has something that they're dealing with in their relationship. So, and you're hearing a lot more of that now, where there's some people who are like, oh, I saw this coming. Oh, I knew that they weren't the perfect couple. I knew that, you know, she wasn't happy. He wasn't this, he wasn't that. But when things were great, when we didn't know anything about their divorce, nobody was coming forward to say, oh, something seems off. Everybody was enjoying the content that they were putting out. And this is why I say people, they're not genuinely happy for you as you think that they are when it comes to the internet. So you need to protect your space and your peace and be okay with the things that you're not willing to put out there. Yeah. You know, as the saying goes, they want to see you do good, but never better than them. 100%. And so now when we heard about the divorce, some people are genuinely excited about that.
Some people are. And they mask it in talking about, oh, you could see in the content that he looked away or she's the real talent. Right. You know, and I agree with you a lot on that point about they want to see you doing good, but never better than them. What we're going to say to you here, and what I'll say, especially, you know, I always like to talk to the fellas. Fellas, I'm going to tell you, when you are with a woman, you have a decision to make. If you're going to be all the way in, be all the way in. Take the good and the bad that comes with it. And understand you have the absolute right to feel away from time to time. But understand you signed up for it. There's sometimes we've gone out and our date might turn into more content than an actual date. When that happens, I can't make the face like, oh my God, here we go. It's something that I've signed up for that we're deciding to do. And you might be on assignment while we're on a date.
Yeah, and I think some of these discussions, so with their scenario, right, they started before this whole content became what it is now, right? And so they probably didn't have some of these discussions, but as they started growing and getting bigger and bigger, maybe some of these discussions were had. I don't know. We weren't there. But maybe it was too late to alter some of those things. But for you and I who are coming in new, if there's certain things that you're uncomfortable with, again, communication is always good to have that conversation with your partner and say that, well, you know, and sometimes it's fun watching it behind the scenes, or just you watching that creator and now you're dating that creator and you see the level of work that goes into
that's a different dynamic. Watching you online versus being a part of what you got to do. Two different universes. It can be two different ones.
Again, and now I'll revisit that. Come live versus come visit. Yeah. It's different. And so now you're starting to get a little bit irritated. You're getting frustrated. You're like, oh my God, why do we need to shoot for 30 minutes? Do not suffer in silence, as they're saying that he was, until 5 years down the line,
then you're unhappy
or you're having to step out of the marriage or stepping out of the relationship. And we see a lot of, we talked about this, I think it was the first or second episode. I mean, especially after year 10, if you're not intentional, that's when we see a lot of the divorce.
That's what we see. Well, I mean, and the thing is too, right? And we'll talk about this on another episode, but once you start making your relationship public, you get a lot more suitors. Now all of a sudden somebody's always better. So that's a whole another thing in itself. As I'm watching for that young man as he's recently divorced, it's not about helping to fix the family. It's more about the new options that are available. So I'll say this. I'll say that within dating right now, we've got too many options. And I think that you have to be intentional in order to stay where you are. And I'll say for you and I, as this is our second time around, intentionality is at the forefront. It has to be at the forefront. So trying to be couples' goals for social media will more than likely derail where your actual relationship needs to be. That's a Mylan take.
No, and I agree with that. I think focusing so much on the virality and the consumption, people will always ask for more if you're putting out. And if you don't have a healthy balance, this is where you're going to fall into that trap. And if you're not constantly having those conversations, and I think this is why I like it when, they're individuals doing their own thing, and then maybe the husband comes in every now and then, the wife comes in every now and then. The couples, sometimes it's challenging.
It's a lot more pressure on them.
It's a lot more pressure. And if this is your sole, job, and you're feeling like you need to put out and perform, it's just performative 24/7. You're constantly having to perform for the public. That can be draining.
And you get people trying to create a wedge between the husband and wife because they're like, oh, well, at least from what I'm seeing here, they're saying that she is more of the factor versus him.
Lord.
And we don't really know. And this is where those things, we don't know what his factor is because he's not the entertainment side of the content. So being private,
but he is the entertainment side.
Well, it was more of the faces. It was kind of
that is entertainment. But a lot of people are also saying that they enjoyed watching them because of his reactions. But a lot of people have become legal counsels now. All of a sudden, they know all about divorce and even him moving out of the house. It's because he couldn't afford to buy her out, and he couldn't afford the maintenance of the home, and he couldn't do this, and he could. You don't know that. I think they were married in, was it Texas or California? Either way, if it's Texas or California, is a no-fault state, right? So I don't think, depending on the judge you're going with, they might view the infidelity as such a huge thing where they will rule a lot more in her favor than him. But if you haven't experienced this, I don't think you should really. Everybody has an opinion, but I don't think you should really have an opinion because that's not how it usually go. Because everything is community property. And they started dating at the age of 14. And if they've been doing content for that long, I'm sure at some point they had some prenuptial agreement or separation agreement.
I don't know if those, I think when they did, and what we were talking about earlier is when they probably started dating, they were just dating. They got married for the love and they did not plan to, look out for this to happen.
They didn't.
And this is what the space that I feel is in. But what I personally am not seeing enough of is the people talking about the separation with the kids. Because now here comes another community to the take too, where it's a dad reintroducing new women to his children ultimately, and a mom introducing, another guy to his children as well. So while we may all have our opinions and thoughts on how and what he looked like and what she was doing, while we may all have those opinions, let's not forget that there are kids at the core of this, right? They will grow up, like I said, they'll go on their own way, but let's not forget that they're still at a young age where that's the most important piece to me right now.
And that's why I say the internet, they don't really care.
Yeah.
The people on the internet are not your friends or family. They're just there to get what they can. And I mean, you can
Especially
fight me on that if you want. And that's why we're not talking about the kids and how this could impact the children. Everybody is focusing on the gossip side of it.
Yeah.
And who's losing what. And some people are excited about, they're losing the house. He couldn't afford the house. The house is going. And these are all false, because if you're dealing with a man who has, well, we know this is usually how it goes. If the man has some type of morals and values and just respect overall for the family that he created, the wife, the children, the man doesn't usually kick the woman out of the family home. Especially when this is happening. The wife and the kids will stay in the home until everything is dissolved. And if she's choosing to buy him out, then she'll buy him out. If he's choosing to walk away, then he can walk away and just find his own, apartment like he did and start over, because you can always start over. But people are more interested in the downfall
of the relationship. More than anything.
But
and I'll say, dating in public is not for the weak, especially if you're interested in being popular, right? If you're someone who has aspirations to do something next with your relationship and it's in the public eye, you have to understand it's no longer just you and your spouse. It's you, spouse, and everyone that's behind the camera looking in. The assumptions, the commentary, all of that. And I stress again, we're not to a magnitude like that, but when we first came out, there was a lot of interesting commentary.
There were, and
it was a lot,
and
a lot more than I thought. I expected, because like I said, knowing who you are and what you're involved in as far as it goes with the social media, I didn't think that the commentary I just didn't expect it, and it's still sometimes tough, because some of your DMs are crazy.
I don't know about that.
You
can't
definitely
deny or confirm
you
that.
Definitely
but
don't.
What I am saying is, but you can tell the difference when things are going good. It's crickets sometimes when you post certain things, happy moments. Some of the content about just not even necessarily relationship, just about yourself, your lifestyle that usually goes viral. It's the struggling ones.
Oh yeah, the struggling ones.
Now we can relate all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Oh, she's just vulnerable. That. No, it's just because they're liking it because they're happy to know that you're also struggling.
Yeah.
That you're also going through something. And that's why you have to pay attention also to your surroundings and the people that you're around. Because, we have a saying, which is, and this is for my Ghanaians to really tap into what I'm saying. I don't need you to correct me, but we do say this, right? Nothing really bites you outside of your cloth. If it bit you, it's from what you have on and within, your closer knit circle. So sometimes the information also goes out there, and the hate and the lack of support and all of that stuff comes from those who are around you, closer to you. Because somebody can comment on your DM through the DM, but won't comment on the public post to support, right? Or to let you know how they truly feel about something, but they'll text you about it, or but they're very active on social media, right? And so sometimes you have to pay attention to some of those things, especially if it's a coupled related things that you're sharing, messages that you're putting out there, because not everyone is happy for you. And that's why I genuinely like to preserve and protect
those
things, because I don't want to be for the sake of virality, just sharing everything about my life, especially my relationship, because it's very scary and dangerous out there. And also, I don't trust a lot of women. It's not about insecurities or any of that. I just think some people are very dangerous, and we don't even know when it comes to Christy and Desmond.
Like who is behind?
Yeah, and they could have. They probably could have worked through this. It probably could have been fixed. But the people you have around you, the constant talks and chats, and
and that's something, babe. I do think it probably could have worked, but the sake of being a public couple, it makes it tougher for you to just coincide and figure things out privately. Because it'll constantly be thrown in her face. Oh, she's so beautiful. She doesn't deserve that. Oh, he's a guy and look what he did to her. He's trying to tear her down. So going public in your relationship is something that I think you need to really think about. And when I say going public, obviously if you're with your wife, you're walking out, people see you, that's a different thing. But if we're saying you're going to use your relationship as a platform to put on social media, you have to expect what comes with the territory. And that's something we're experiencing it, right?
Yes.
We're experiencing it as we've started this new journey, even prior to this. So we were experiencing that. It's just something where you need to be strong in the relationship you're in.
And it gets harder when it's online. You read through different things.
Yes.
You can see a DM. You reference DM right now, but you have no idea. You just, and sometimes, I don't know if
I definitely got an idea. Let's calm down.
But
I got an idea.
And that's
I don't want to say some of them here. I don't want to say some of them.
I'm just saying.
Listen, when we get a Patreon, ultimately, we're going to start talking about your DMs. We're going to start posting like, hey.
It's tough. Dating and just having things be out in the public is just not something that it's not for the weak.
It's not for the weak.
It's not for the weak. And again, what I'm saying is people aren't necessarily there to support you and be there for you genuinely. They just want to know that you struggle just like them. So be mindful that when you're going viral, it's not necessarily because the content is so great. You could have been doing some backflips like she was doing, and then they're just forwarding it to show and say, look at what she's doing. What the heck is this? What is this? Why is she doing that? It's not necessarily because the content is good, but then you get excited and you're like, oh, they want more of that. They want more of that. Next thing you know, you're like, maybe if I do it in my bedroom, or maybe if I do it here. You need to be mindful and protect your space and protect your energy and do what you think is best for you and your family. Tune out the noise, tune out some of the things that you're seeing outside that are, going viral, that are clickbaits, and say that this is the space that we want to be in. We want to talk about relationships. We want to talk about our struggles. We want to share some of our experiences. We want to be impactful in a different way. So we're going to stay on that course. And like I say, slow motion is better than no motion. Definitely. You might not be going viral today based on your content is not exciting enough. It's a little bit boring. It drags out a little bit, but the right audience will find you and they will be okay with what you're sharing. And they will follow along and you'll build an even much stronger community there rather than the instant gratification, the microwavable content that just go viral, but it's not really sticking to build that community and help you be on that path that you probably started wanting to be on. It probably was the same thing for them. We started off as wanting to be this type of a couple sharing certain things, but that one thing that went viral made us lose. It
became a monster of its own, and it took away from the reality of the relationship. So, for me, as I wrap up, I'll just say, always consider when you are going public with your relationship that you will always have people who are promoters and detractors. And within having that, you and your partner have to be a united front to be there with the good and the bad, babe.
And not cheat. If that's what happened, you have to be, it's easy to say. And people there's so many things that I'm reading about this topic, and then I'll wrap it up. He should have been a man enough to leave. She should have left a long time ago. Listen, divorce happened before it happens. And so if he cheated, maybe they were separated or, whatever 6, 7, 8 months ago, but they're just now coming to us formally coming to us now. So, and especially if you haven't been married before, I don't think you should have that much insight.
Oh man, that's the wave now. And non-experienced people speaking on experience.
Because you don't know. And it's not that easy to just leave and say, oh, we're going through struggles, we're separated, I'm just gonna leave. You have to think about so many things. You have to think about the kids. If I move out now, what is that gonna cost me? What is that gonna add to, the finances? How am I going to do? You have to plan and strategize before you make those moves, especially when there are kids involved. So if you don't have the experience and you just looking for a quick clickbait because they are trending, that's cool, but it just doesn't happen like that. And we need to, have a little bit more compassion and I guess, be supportive when people are going through these tough times and not kick them a lot more when they're down
worrying about who's keeping the house, worrying about who is making the most money. Like those are the things that are totally irrelevant to the situation.
Yep. Right. So keep your relationship where you want to keep it and, do what you want and what was going to be beneficial to your household.
100%.
And with that, your wrap us up.
With that, thanks for joining us. As Kate gave us a very dynamic explanation on what it is to date an influencer. I hope you guys peep that. But thanks for joining us. And we're going to see you next episode. Mylan, Kate, take 2.
Don't date in public.